Our bodies, I'm going to tell you in a minute of the breakdown, are made up of mostly water. A lot of it's water. We have to keep drinking water. It doesn't just stay there. It has to flush. Our system has to flush all kinds of things. I'm not going to get into all of it. I don't know all of it, but I've always known that. And frankly, just a little bit about my story. As long as I could remember, I knew that it was important to drink a big glass of water when I wake up. And I'm not a coffee drinker, and I love tea. I have 1 cup of tea usually a day, green tea. But the water itself, especially, you can have healthier water, but we're not going to get into that today. Any quality water, it wakes me up in the morning. So ever since I had my thyroid out in 2019, I have to drink a cup of water with my hormone replacement. So some people get up in the middle of the night and do that, but I do it as soon as I wake up, and then I wait 45 minutes to eat or take anything else, because you don't want it to interfere with the absorption of the hormones. So I automatically have to do that now, but I always did, and I always saw the value that it woke me up, I don't know if I understood the brain health part of it. But recently, my husband, I noticed this. My husband wants to be healthy. Steve is his name. And he definitely is open to eating healthy. He doesn't eat perfect all the time, but he's very into health and supplements and things like that. But I would see that he didn't get up. Sometimes he would just take his time getting up, and he wouldn't go and drink. And I did mention it before, but I mentioned it a week or two ago. And he listened, and he started getting up and drinking a cup, at least a cup. Or he says, again, a cup is at least 8 ounces, we'll say. And he says, oh my goodness. And I've seen a change in him, but he's like, I am different. I feel so much better. I have more energy. I'm more alert in my mind. It's, oh my goodness. So now he's doing it, and he's pretty much made an everyday habit of it. Of course, habits develop in at least 21 days or more, right? So we'll see if it's permanent. But he's seeing the value of it, and that's exciting, because overall he tries the rest of the day to do well. But the importance of that, and I would notice that he likes to take his vitamins, so I'd hear him go to take vitamins and stuff, but hardly ever did he have a cup around with just water. Okay, and I don't always drink enough either, but I just wanted to share that's a big difference in him. He's noticed in the last couple of weeks since he's been getting up and drinking at least a cup and a half right away, which is adding to the amount that he normally would drink. So, according to Google, what I found on here, and I've heard this from other sources too, but dehydration, not getting enough water, causes the brain function to slow down. Mental health, the health of our mind, is driven primarily by brain activity. And when our bodies do not get enough water, that brain activity slows down, that function slows down, and it doesn't function properly. So our brains definitely need water. Another thing that it said is that the amino acids in our brain get depleted, go down. The number goes down. Amino acids I always thought was totally related to protein, and it is. But the amino acids in our brain actually decrease when we're dehydrated, when we're not getting enough water for our bodies. And dehydration can be all different levels. I'm not going to go into all the symptoms, but if you look online, you're going to see different symptoms, obviously tiredness and, irritability and things like that, different things that can be a signal of dehydration. But we're talking about like people drinking but not enough every day ongoing is kind of where I'm going more here with this talk today. And what it said was dehydration depletes amino acids in the brain, leading to feelings of anxiety, dejection, irritability, and inadequacy. I thought that was quite interesting. Inadequacy, feeling inadequate in yourself. So our self-esteem, not everybody is open to that kind of wording, or our self-confidence, or how we see ourselves, whatever wording you want to use. This is saying that dehydration can affect that. Wow. So I want to say what this says. It says research has linked dehydration to depression and anxiety. It's definitely, and an expert Alan Wolfelt, who my friend Valerie is learning under and getting a certification through him. She learned this, and he big time emphasized the importance of water drinking. And says that, he knew that evidence that it can lead to depression, anxiety. So let's take away all the trauma in our life, take away the grief, take away any problems, right? Just dehydration, not getting enough water and liquid, good healthy liquid, and foods that have water in them, like fruits and vegetables. Again, I could go off on any one of these topics a whole long time, but I'm just trying to stay to the mental health part of it as well as the physical health part of it. Is can cause us to have anxiety and depression, or feel inadequate, or irritability. Quite interesting. So what I'm trying to get through today is that being hydrated, drinking enough water, specifically water, okay, is part of our mental health. Quickly, Valerie was told by Alan Wolfelt, who is a world-renowned expert in grief and loss, that his kind of recipe to solve that for people who are absent-minded and are going to forget to drink enough, they probably don't know the value of it till yet either, but is to put 5 different cups, different places in the house where you go. And then when you see that cup, you go fill it with water and then you drink. Or I said, well, how about not just put water in it for that day? Go ahead and put the water in and then place the cups. Whichever way, right? But that's his remedy for it, to literally remind you to drink 5 8-ounce cups a day. That amount or more. I'm not getting into that, although that is what's recommended. That depends on your size. If you're a large person or overweight, you're going to need more than that. So it depends on our weight and size as well. So that, I wanted to share that, but this is what I just looked up on Google. This is real important. Listen here. 22% approximately of our bones are water. 22, so that's small for the bones. You think bones are hard and all that, right? 76% in our muscles. 83% in our blood is water. 83% of our blood is water. 76% of our muscles is water. 90% in our lungs is water. 90% of our lungs is water, H2O. And get this, how much the brain is? 95%. 95. Almost all of our brain is made up of water. Ooh, now that kind of makes a little more sense why, staying hydrated can help our mental health. Or the opposite, when we're dehydrated, it doesn't mean we're not drinking at all, but we're not drinking enough, like ongoingly, like every day. Maybe that's always the habit, always the case. That is probably definitely affecting our mental health. I definitely feel more alert, and I would say more positive when I'm drinking more water. So I wanted to share that. That was new news for me as well today. And a study from the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research says that, in just mild dehydration, if you drink 20 ounces fairly, quickly, I don't mean like guzzling, I mean just, back to back, if you get 20 ounces of water into you with mild dehydration, you can rehydrate in just 45 minutes. So that's how quick getting it into you can reverse it. And like I said, as soon as I drink it, I feel more awake and ready to start my day. I've never started my day with coffee or even tea right away in the morning. I start with water. So now I just want to briefly talk about another article that I read and just hitting on some things that hinder our hydration, that make us, basically these things cause us to have to drink even more water than maybe normally we would need to for our body size. Okay? Just to give you a clue that if you're doing a lot of any of these things, or excess, that's going to hinder your hydration. Even if you are drinking water, you're going to need to drink even more. Okay? And here's the gist of them. This article that I read talked in certain foods, but I'm going to talk in what's in it. High sugar, high sodium. Now our bodies need sodium and they need potassium. So I'm not going to go off into this big time, but if you're not getting enough of that, you're not going to be replenished even if you're just drinking water. If you're not getting it in your diet somewhere and fruits or vegetables, you're going to need to get that potassium up through diet and or drink that has it in it. So if you're vomiting and being sick, a lot of people go get, Pedialyte or Gatorade. I'd rather do Pedialyte. I just got sick not too long ago, and I had Pedialyte help to replenish me. So you want to replenish those things as quickly as you can. But in general, high sodium, high sugar, high protein diet, high fat, those all take more water to digest and process, or however. I'm not trying to be an expert here, but they require more water. They take more water and they require more water intake when you're eating those things or intaking those things. Now, two diuretics, I'm not even sure if I'm saying this right, things that make you pee more and take the water out of your body more, are alcohol and caffeinated drinks. Alcohol and caffeinated drinks. Popular one is coffee. That's why I started saying coffee. But alcohol depletes, and so does caffeinated drinks. So even if you're drinking a lot of water, you're doing that. You need to drink water, more water on top of that. Don't think that's enough. So that's just a little going there, okay? But this is about our mental health and pathways to peace. How can I experience more peace, right? I know I'm looking for that. That's why I've been sharing this series. There's even more that I can share on. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I'm not sure what we're doing next week on here, but it will always be grief and loss related and mental health related. So I'm telling you today, just by you making sure you get 5 cups of water, the amount that your body needs, you drinking throughout the day, start the day off with a big cup of water before even your coffee. Okay, or your tea or whatever. But get more water and you put it around in cups if you have to. Whatever you got to do to get yourself to do it. Big container that's the right amount, and you got to fill that, drink that container. A lot of people do that, and they make sure that they drink that amount by the end of the day. Whatever it takes for you, do it, because it is so important for your physical health, and it's so important for your mental health. Because how much percentage of our brain, and I remember hearing 90%. So then when I looked it up and said 60, it was 60 for an adult male, and females have more fat, so it's more like 55 or something like that percent. Again, it depends on our size. But, now I know where I heard the 90. It must have to do with the brain, but I don't remember hearing that, so now I know. So our brain needs the most water. Okay, so let's remember this. Let's drink more water. I encourage you to. I decided to wear this shirt today from my church because it kind of looks like water. And again, aqua, H2O, pathways to peace. I only have one hand, so pathways to peace, water, staying hydrated. So my verse real quick is from, because Jesus referred to this, and I could go into a whole Bible study on this, but I'm not going to do that. So John 7, verse 37 through 39. On the last day, the greatest day of the feast, Jesus stood and said in a loud voice, "If a man is thirsty, let him come to me and drink. Whoever believes in me, as the scripture has said, streams of living water will flow from within him." By this he meant the Spirit, whom those who believed in him were later to receive. So, at the woman at the well, she was getting physical water, and he says, if you ask me for a drink, I'll give you water that you'll never thirst again. So again, that's relating to the Spirit. So even the way the Spirit of God came first, if you all think about it. The Spirit of God and Jesus and the Father were all there creating the earth. So in a sense, they created something physical, which is water, which most of our earth is made out of water, right? Has more water than land. He took from his essence of his Spirit and made water similar to his Spirit, is just kind of the way I'm thinking of it right now. So Jesus is the bread of life. The Spirit of God gives us eternal life. The promise of that lives inside of us. Again, so much I could say about that. So Jesus, related the Spirit and the water. And he's made us up of mostly water, and the earth mostly of water. So, it's a lot of things, really cool things to get into with that, but he definitely referred to water. And so I hope you drink more water and keep that in mind. And please comment if this video helped you, and please share it out, subscribe, and like. I don't always like videos either, but take the time to like this video, please. And let's get the message out about something so simple that we know is good for us, but probably didn't realize how important it was for our mental health. Julie Kay, helping you find your way. God bless. Bye-bye.